Selbst Markus Lanz kann die Probleme Deutschlands nicht mehr verleugnen. That's right. I was surprised too. You should watch the episode. I'm telling you, the ZDF app is free, and you can watch the whole show for free. So there's no reason you shouldn't watch it. This one, I usually am not really wow about Markus Lanz, because usually he's basically a state apparatchik that just agrees with everything the state does and that the politicians do, and you know, he kind of asks a couple hard questions, but really he's just a state apparatchik. And this time, the episode from yesterday, the 22nd of April, everybody got to watch it, especially your normie friends that think that Germany is actually doing all right. If you look at the mainstream media and the ORR, the öffentlich-rechtliche, you would think things are going all right in Germany. It's all right, no problem. But on this episode, Markus Lanz has, I think, 4 different mayors, Oberbürgermeister, from 4 different cities. And they explain exactly what the problem is in this country. I think everybody should really watch it, because the normies won't be able to deny this anymore. Everybody that still votes for the CDU instead of the AFD, that still believes that the mainstream media is telling them the truth, well, now, for once, they're going to be able to get the truth on Markus Lanz. Doesn't happen often, okay? It doesn't happen often. Most of the time, it's an insane bunch of lies that get told on Markus Lanz, all right? This time, you get to hear the truth, because you see, the thing is, mayors are on the ground with the people, right? They live close to real life. They live in real life amongst the people that live in the cities that they are running. And so they know what the problems really are. And the elites, the Bundestag-Abgeordnete, the ministers and the people in Berlin, they have no idea what reality is, right? And that problem has gotten pretty big, right? But these mayors were able to get on Markus Lanz and actually tell the truth. And Markus Lanz, even Markus Lanz, couldn't argue with him, right? He couldn't make it sound better than it actually is. The country is falling apart. And so I think a big part of the problem why there's still German people voting for parties like the CDU and all that shit and not the AFD is because around them, I mean, things are going all right. You know what I mean? They're not experiencing the negative consequences from the politicians' decisions in Berlin, right? And so if they don't see it on TV and they don't see it in real life, they think it's just a Verschwörungstheorie, that some crazy maniac like Markus Krall or Fritz Fahrenholz or Peter Hanna or Mark Friedrich, or, I mean, you name it. You know, there's a lot of people, Thilo Sarrazin, a lot of people that have been screaming at the top of their lungs for a long time, saying that Germany was going to go exactly in this direction if the politicians kept moving in the leftist, socialist, Sozialstaat, let's take care of everybody direction. It's going to fail. We're going to have big problems. And these mayors had the guts to get on Markus Lanz and say what is the truth, right? They were able to get up there and actually tell the audience and the people in Germany that are going to watch that the truth, which is, for a Markus Lanz episode, fucking amazing. So I don't often clap for Markus Lanz, but in this case, all right. You actually, but the thing is, you know what I'm saying? He couldn't deny it, right? The country's falling apart. Absolutely. It's already so bad, you know? And if you listen to some of the examples that these mayors use to explain how big the problem is, I mean, you should really watch the episode, because some of the examples are absolutely bananas, okay? Let's start with, in one of the cities, it took 3 years from start to finish to rebuild a bridge. So from the day the old bridge was torn down until the day the new bridge was started was 3 years. So it wasn't even finished in 3 years. It was 3 years. It just started in 3 years, right? Another city had a bridge that needed to be rebuilt, and it took 13 years. 13 years, people. Look, in Florida last year or the year before, there was a major hurricane. It wiped out one of the major thoroughfare bridges, right? That bridge is needed. People would have to have a fucking hell of a long drive if they had to get around that bridge. Florida rebuilt that bridge in like 2 weeks, okay? They found a solution. Where there's a will, there's a way. But for the politicians in Berlin, the leftists, the so-called Demokratische Partei, the etablierte Partei, they are clueless as to what to do. And they're not even listening to the people that work under them, which are these mayors. They're not listening to them. You know, these people are out of money. They don't have places, they don't have spots for their kids in schools or in kindergarten, right? But in Germany, you can't just hire a lady in the street to put your kids at her house for the whole day and she watches them. That's called a fucking babysitter, right? We have those in America. In America, it's not socialism, right? That's what this kind of shit. Socialism makes sure you can't solve problems. And Germany wants to be a socialist state. They want to have a social welfare program that the weakest people in society get the most benefits, and then the people who aren't weak but just want to be in the weak camp so that they can get benefits that they don't deserve, we take care of those people too. And then Germany wants to take care of a whole bunch of fucking people that don't even belong here, right? A whole bunch of people that shouldn't be here, that are here illegally, and they're all taken care of. And we just want to get more and more migrants. That's also a problem. We don't want to make them speak German. We don't want to make them fucking learn how to learn a language. We don't want to make them work. In some cases, they can't work. Their kids don't speak any fucking German, so they're not passing school. There's a whole bunch of problem with criminality. And these mayors on the Markus Lanz show explain in great detail what these problems are. So your normie friends out there who refuse to vote for the AFD because they think that somehow the CDU is going to do something for them, hopefully they learn their lesson now. It's a little late, but hopefully they learn their lesson now. Obviously, the CDU is going to do shit for you, okay? I bet that was fucked up, huh? Waking up the next day watching Friedrich Merz just shit all over every promise he made before you elected him. You must feel so stupid. But nobody said we didn't warn y'all. But I guess now most people are getting the picture. I guess that's true because the AFD, yes baby, the AFD is number one in all of Germany, not just East Germany, all of Germany, number one. So, and they haven't really even done anything, right? The establishment parties are so bad that the AFD just has to sit there and gain popularity. They don't have to do anything, right? They just gain more popularity. You know, because the people that are running the show are completely illegitimate, utter failures in normal life. You know what I mean? Okay, Friedrich Merz, I don't know. I don't know how you can be a success at BlackRock. You know what I mean? I don't know how hard that is. I think that's just a question of kissing the right asses. I don't think that's a really difficult job, you know? And if it is, he lost all his skills when he went into politics. So, but I mean, we've got the trampoline jumper. We've got fucking Karl Lauterbach. We don't even know if the guy's really a fucking doctor or not. He faked his Harvard degree or something. I don't know. He doesn't seem like it. He seems more like Forrest Gump than he does a doctor. The guy can barely talk. He's like a Joe Biden fucking Forrest Gump mix. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? And this guy is running the health shit, or was. You know what I mean? It's utter madness. Habeck, that doesn't know a fucking thing about Wirtschaft or economy. Nothing. Doesn't know nothing. He's running the show for 4 years. Completely destroyed the whole economy with their crazy socialist crap. Listen, guys. What these mayors are basically saying is people cannot just rely on the state to do everything. Socialism doesn't work. Socialism especially doesn't work if you then open borders to everyone on the entire fucking planet that can then come in here and mooch off the fucking money that you paid into the system, but they're not paying in. And so if Germany wants to be a country that just takes care of everybody and makes the few willing people that are left work for everybody else, that's not going to work. It doesn't work anywhere, right? It doesn't work in any business. It doesn't work in any family. You know what I mean? It does in a family. Communism works in a family. Socialism works in a family. The father goes to work. The mother goes to work. The kids basically do nothing until they're 18. And then eventually they've got to go. You know what I mean? But what we're doing in Germany is we're just not doing anything to change the system at all. We're just keep getting more and more and more migrants. We keep pushing them into these cities and these states. The mayors have to take them. They have to find money to take care of them. They have to put their kids in school. I mean, it's utter craziness. We're talking about 3 years to build a bridge, 13 years to build a bridge. That's crazy. And I think the reason why there are still so many regular normies out there in Germany that think the state's a wonderful thing and they're doing all right, they're doing their best, and they've got our best interests at heart. I think that's because they're just not experiencing the things for themselves. So rather than wait until it happens in your city, your town, your state, why don't you watch this Markus Lanz episode, right? And see, it's real. It's not just Thilo Zarasin or Aluhutträger or fucking Marcus Krall or whatever. These guys have all been right about everything, right? But it's not them. It's the actual government people, the mayors of these cities and towns. They're out there on Markus Lanz right now saying, look, this shit is not working. Okay? We are running out of space and we are running out of money. We cannot do it. We can't do it. They're not heating pools anymore to save money. The Sportsplätze are getting torn down to save money. What the hell are these people thinking? And yet they keep getting more and more migrants into the country. They keep letting more and more bureaucracy grow around everything. They keep pushing more and more rules and regulations and shit onto these cities and states. No, you can't. There's no place for kindergarten. You can't build a kindergarten out in the woods. You can't build a kindergarten on this place. You can't do it there. It's got to be all regulated. Every little nook and cranny of the kindergarten has to be regulated by the state. Like socialism. Like I said, in America, if you can't get a spot for your kid, usually there's like a lady in the neighborhood that stays home and she takes care of the kids in the neighborhood for money, right? And she doesn't need a degree and she doesn't need to go to school for 50 fucking years. All she needs is the parents to sign a waiver to her saying, you can take care of my kid for the day, okay? And they pay her money for it. And that's it. Problem fucking solved. No, but in Germany, no, that's too risky. We can't take any risk in Germany. What if this bitch, right? What if the neighborhood bitch that wants to take care of the kids, what if she's a drug addict? Well, I guess you never really know, do you? If it turns out she's a drug addict, you don't take your kids there anymore. We don't need the state to fucking control everything. We don't need the state to control every aspect of everything in life. It's not working. The bureaucracy's not working. The politics are not working. The state can no longer deliver in Germany, right? This country's politicians have made the country into a socialist shithole that is not delivering for anybody except fringe groups like trans people. There's just so many of them. That's who they're fighting for. And fucking immigrants that are here illegally, that don't have an asylum claim, that aren't working, that are sitting on the couch on their asses while we're working to pay taxes so they can live here. That seems insane to me. Okay? And these mayors are telling Markus Lanz and thereby the regular normie people that watch the öffentlich-rechtlichen Rundfunk, that believe that shit, they're finally getting told some truth on Markus Lanz for the first time that I've ever seen the show. I've never seen a Markus Lanz episode where the truth was told, I have to say. Unless it was coming from an AfD politician and everybody else was trying to make it seem like he was lying or she was lying. Okay? And this time they're saying, look, people, this is coming to your city or your town. Okay? Now, I'm lucky. I'm one of those people. that only know about this shit because I pay attention and I don't watch mainstream media. You know what I mean? So I know about it. But where I live, you wouldn't think anything was wrong. You know what I mean? Where I live basically in the middle of nowhere. We have our own small community, right? We're basically in the woods. I don't know how many people live in the town I live, but not many. You know, what could it be? It might be a couple hundred. You know what I mean? And yes, we're closer to a bigger town, but not very much bigger. Okay? The closest big city to me is Stuttgart. But we live far away from that. Right? So when we're there, when I'm home, I don't notice any of these problems. We don't have Asylantenheimen, and we don't have a bunch of Flüchtlingscamps, and we don't have any of those problems that these cities and these towns are having. But it is happening in other places, and it is going to come to every town and every city in this country if something is not done about these motherfuckers that think that they know best for everybody and have the keys to power in their hand while they shouldn't. The German people need to wake up, right? And again, looking at the AfD polls today, it seems like it's happening. Just hang on to that until the next election, okay? Hang on to that until it's time to vote again. Don't let these fucking establishment politicians pull the wool over your eyes again, okay? Don't be so stupid. Don't believe a thing they say, okay? Just write them off entirely. Ignore them completely. They are utterly irrelevant. All we have to do now is just sit tight and wait for the moment that that government fails, or it's the next election period, and then everybody has to do what everybody knows they have to do, and they have to give the AfD the absolute majority in this country so things can finally start to change. And the reason why I think the AfD can do it is because the people in that party have the balls to do the things necessary that are going to have to be done, even though some people are going to take offense. Some people are going to lose their burger geld. Some people are going to have to go to work or going to have to move to a different city to work because they need to find a job. That's fucking life. Life is living, is solving problems and having a little bit of fun in between. But essentially, life is solving problems. And when you want to live in a country where the government solves every fucking problem everybody has, it's not going to work. It is not working. Socialism has never worked. Never. It always leads to mass murder, and it always leads to poverty, being poor, right? That's what the climate politics are bringing us to. That's what the politics in general are bringing us in the direction of getting poorer and poorer and poorer. Our money's worth less and less and less. And it's all because of the decisions made by these people who shouldn't be in power. Remember that. Remember that every day. And all of you guys watching this right now, that you have somebody in your life, whether it be your parents or your aunt or uncle or maybe your brother or sister or friends, that are leftist morons that believe the öffentlich-rechtliche Rundfunk bullshit propaganda that they spew. Show them this episode of Markus Lanz from the 22nd of April, 2025, yesterday, Tuesday. Show it to them. Because then they're going to see it come straight from the horse's mouth that the country is going to shit. Even if they don't notice it in their area, it's coming for their area too. Because the politicians at the top are not putting the brakes on anything. They're not putting the brakes on any spending. They're not putting the brakes on any immigration. They're not putting the brakes on any crime. They're not putting the brakes on inflation. They're just going full speed ahead in the same direction. And I say it every time, that's their leftist ideology. They're ideologically captured. It's almost like they're crazy. They don't see reality for what it is anymore. They're like religious zealots, okay? There's no way to wake them up out of this splendor because they're never going to have to suffer under the policies that they make for everybody else. So they're never going to know. They're never going to stop, ever. They need to be removed. We need to get rid of them, right? They have to go. So next time there's a voting chance, vote AfD, everybody. That's the last chance, okay? If they can't do it or won't do it, then it's fucked. But there's still a chance that they can and they will. But we know the establishment parties and Friedrich Merz's and all, whatever the fuck all their names are, they ain't gonna do shit for y'all. Nothing. We know they're not gonna do it. So guys, take a look at this episode. If you want to get all my content delivered directly into your email inbox, all you got to do is subscribe to my Substack. It's allaboutlogic.substack.com. You see it on the screen there. You can subscribe there for free. You can subscribe for $5 a month to help support me. That would be great. I'd like that. And then you get access to all my content, all my articles, all my videos. Nothing gets banned, nothing gets censored, nothing gets deleted there. So you'll get it all directly in your email as soon as it comes out. And if you're seeing this somewhere else, go ahead and like, subscribe, forward, repost, all that to help me reach other people as well. That all helps with the algorithm. So move it around, repost it, share it, write a comment, get some conversation started, whatever. But do all the things. They're all free. So help a brother out. Now, you guys have a good day. Watch this episode and show it to everybody you know. It's real important. That way they're not going to, there's no more denying that Germany is dying.